Have you ever been in acting class and you're saying your lines perfectly and everything is going well, and then suddenly you start thinking about what you're saying and why you're saying it, and if anybody's listening to you, and why am I here, and did I pronounce that word properly, is my hair sticking up, but not focusing on the performance? That is called being in your head, and we all go through it as we're starting out as actors, and we're going to talk about that today, coming up next on The Starting Actor. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Starting Actor. I am Vinnie, and on this channel we talk about being an actor starting out in the industry and learning the ins and outs and the do's and don'ts and the what happenses of this wonderful profession. So, if that sounds like something that's of interest to you, then consider subscribing and make sure that you hit that little bell down there so that you can get alerted as to when I put out a new episode. Alright, so today we are talking about being in your head. And so let's define that a little bit more carefully and talk about if it's okay, if it's normal. Maybe it's not. It is. So for me, being in my head is about being either on set or in class or in an audition and just not being able to focus on what's I'm supposed to be focusing on, which is the performance or my partner. And instead, I'm thinking about what's going on and being aware of what's happening to me. So this is a very common thing that happens as you're starting out in the industry, as you're starting out to becoming an actor and learning a new skill. So if you think back to if I think back when I was in high school, and the very first time that I got up in front of the class, and I was very nervous and just worried about people judging me. It's kind of the same thing, and in fact it is the same thing when you're starting out as an actor. You're not sure about what it is you're doing, and so you end up being in your head. As I have experienced that there's three different phases of going through this progression of being in your head. The very first phase was actually not even being in my head. For me, it was a complete blackout. I learned my lines, I went to acting class, and then I got up in front of, let's say, 15 other classmates, and I remember that part. I remember starting to say the few words of my lines, and then I remember sitting down because everything else was gone. I don't remember it. I was so nervous and so concerned with the situation. This was so new to me that I completely just blacked out, right? Don't remember what happened. And that happens, and it's normal, and it's okay. It's part of the journey. Then later, as I got some more experience, by the way, the blackouts, I don't know, maybe it happened 3, 4, 5 times. Did it really happen that many times? Probably did happen that many times, but eventually it goes away. And then you get to the next phase, which was actually being in your head. So being in your head was just being extremely self-conscious about what's going on. I've learned my lines, and I know them, yes, but then in the moment when I'm actually working with my partner, I'm just aware of what's going on. And the fact that, so for example, right now I'm doing this video for you, and as I've become accustomed to doing this, I've been in my head because I know that there's a door over here, there's a window over there, there's a light directly behind the camera, there's another one here to my right, there's a window over there, a bookcase, a light, a picture. I'm aware of everything that's going on, and that's being in your head. It's being conscious of what's going on instead of, as we would do as a human being, if you just think about a regular interaction with your parents or with your colleagues at work or your teammates on the baseball team. Your interactions, you don't think about them, you just do them. Whether there's a tree over there on the baseball field or the first base is sitting to your, you don't notice those things. They're there, but you don't notice them. As you work through this process of being in your head, you will notice those things because what you're doing is unnatural, and so your body, as I see it, is just kind of seeing all these weird, unnatural things that are going on. Eventually, you'll move beyond that. And that is where you arrive at the third phase of my experience so far. And who knows, maybe there will be another phase as I continue to gain more experience. But the third phase is being in the moment. Being in the moment refers to being able to lock everything out. and just to focus on what it is you're doing, the interaction that you're having with the camera or with your partner that you're acting with, the scene that you're in, and just really being engulfed as you would playing baseball with your buddies or being at work, right? You don't know what's going on, you're just doing it. And that's where we want to be. We want to be in the moment. So that will come with time and with practice, but you will eventually get there. So that is what being in your head is all about. It's normal, it's natural. Don't worry about it. You'll go through it, you'll come out the other side, and you'll be a better actor for it. So that is all I had for today on this episode of The Starting Actor. If you enjoyed what you saw here, then please consider subscribing. If you have anything to say, please leave me a note in the comments below, and I will see you later on the next episode of The Starting Actor.